A lot of people know that medical science liaisons can make a pretty hefty salary. Just to take a step back, medical science liaisons are the people in the pharmaceutical industry under a division called medical affairs that go out and educate healthcare providers who are in particularly key opinion leaders or external experts. They're the creme de la creme of physicians. So the MSLs go out, educate them on the company's drug, their device, on the disease state related to that product, so forth and so on. So what do MSLs make? What's their background? What's the demographics? Let's jump right into it. So MSLs actually, their salaries really range depending on the therapeutic area. And this is data that's been compiled by the ACMA. So for example, one of the areas that's relatively very high is, believe it or not, in the area of gastroenterology or psychiatry, immunology, which relates to some of the cancer products, oncology, rare diseases are high up there as well. And especially with rare diseases, because you really got to know a very niche area that is not very well even probably noticed or understood by a lot of healthcare providers. And so it does vary by therapeutic area. It could range really anywhere from 120 up to $200,000 as a typical field-based medical affairs professional or MSL. When we look at MSL salaries across different countries, the US, the UK, Canada, Australia, we see that the US actually tops the list on the average versus those other countries. Again, at $187,000 is the average salary for a medical science liaison. Canada is the lowest at around $92,000. Again, this is data that was compiled by the ACMA. Now, here's the thing about being an MSL. A lot of times, it may be the entry point for an individual who's a medical doctor or a pharmacist or a physician trying to build their career in the pharmaceutical industries. But sometimes that's not the case. There's certain instances where they might come in as a medical information specialist, especially if they're pharmacists oftentimes. That's like the starting point, or a medical writer, or a medical affairs manager. So these would be like lower level positions. So the MSL role can be a mid-level career type of position, or if you're lucky, can be a position that you get, right out the gate early on in your career. As an MSL, the trajectory really in terms of moving up, it's kind of two paths, and that's how I would think about it. One way is where you're an MSL lifer. So this is an MSL that goes from being an MSL to maybe, an associate director of MSLs, director MSLs, senior executive, but they're an MSL. They're still doing the same role in going out and meeting with physicians. It's just that their title is changing and they're given more seniority based on that tenure, but they're really kind of doing the same job. In effect, they might have some additional projects or leadership responsibilities, but overall, they're doing kind of the same thing. Another route is where an MSL would actually go in-house. That was before COVID. Now after COVID, most people are hybrid or remote. In-house means they go into the office in the corporate setting. But that way really is a way where you go into medical affairs into other types of roles. For example, you might become a director in medical affairs, a medical director, a vice president of medical affairs. And as we've seen from the data from the ACMA, a vice president of medical affairs, depending on their background and degree, they can make upwards of $324,000. Now, one thing about salaries for medical affairs professionals, MSLs, is that you get the base salary, but then you get a bonus. Now, is that bonus based on scripts? You guys should know this if you've been following my videos. The answer is no. Medical affairs and MSLs, their key performance indicators have nothing, right? An X, nothing to do with prescription sales. That's a big, big no-no. But it's related to their performance, which is a whole other topic in and of itself, because a lot of people wonder, how do you really assess people in medical affairs or the MSL role? Big, big question, big conundrum for everybody, even till now in 2023. So they get the base salary, they get the bonus, and then they will get typically stock options. They'll either get a company car or they'll get some type of monthly reimbursement, a few $100s a month. It might be higher for a company car. So it's a job that has a lot of perks. Those are the typical points or elements of compensation for a medical science liaison. It's a very competitive role. For every one opening for being an MSL, there's about 200 to 300 applicants. The field has grown dramatically in the last 10 to 15 years, over 300%. And they're really looking for people that have advanced degrees and especially if they could have board certification. So they're looking for somebody that has an MD, a PhD, a PharmD, or a pharmacist, or people that have, in addition to that, some type of board certification for the specific medical affairs or MSL function. Now, there is a board certification, the only one out there that's accredited, which is the Board Certified Medical Affairs Specialist Program, BCMAS. It's the only accredited program for both medical affairs and MSLs. All the other ones that are out there are not really regarded with any high regard or credibility. But this one's the one that's came out first. It's been around for almost 10 years, very distinct program. Again, BCMAS. All right, so there you have it. I hope that helps. It's always great talking to you guys. If you have any questions, put it in the comment section below. Make sure you like, follow, subscribe, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Thank you.